Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome to the demo for After the Wane. Thank you, Mooncat Games, for the invitation to check out this demo. Let's dive in. This is the newest title from Novavox. I did previously cover echoes from them. So, well, let's go. 5, 6, 7, 8, you leap. Almost every morning for years, you've repeated this sequence of movements, but your world is about to completely change. Everything that happened before was simply a rehearsal for what is about to happen. You glimpse the many variations. You know the steps: glissades, demi-plies, and entranches. And yet your feet seek out the warmth of familiar tracks. You imagine them, left by a mother you never knew. Before you, an inescapable chasm. Spread your wings. I love the animation already. You spread your wings. Why hesitate? You're ready to fly. You're alone, but you soar above. Here, nobody can reach you. A page turns. A grand jeté. A fleeting moment before the inevitable plunge. This life is about to begin. Prologue. Bye. You've just finished your daily exercises when there's a knock on the bedroom door. 3 weeks. 3 weeks without access to a bar where you've had to do with the back of a chair, which is far from ideal. 3 weeks scouring the city trying to find a place somewhere, then as the panic sets in, anywhere. You know that on the other side of the door, Andre, your landlady, probably wants to offer you a cup of tea. Again. You've managed to dodge her yesterday and the day before, but sooner or later you'll have to give in to her request, which isn't exactly unreasonable. Up until this week, she left you alone, probably because the other rooms have been occupied by a stream of tourists visiting the city. But with the arrival of September, the house had emptied out and the old lady's attention had shifted onto her favorite niece's little protege. We're not yet at the stage where she'd come into the bedroom uninvited. If you ignore her, she'll probably go away. Answer. Yes. You open the door a crack. I've made some tea, and I'd be very happy if you join me, Lena. Okay. Give me a couple minutes, I'm coming. I'll be in the kitchen. You quickly finish getting ready, then you head downstairs. As you approach the area on the ground floor set aside for your landlady, the scent of freshly baked cookies gets stronger. You go through the kitchen marked private and enter an immaculate, if rather outmoded, kitchen. On the old gas stove, the kettle coughs up little clouds of steam. On the table, unsurprisingly, a plate overflowing with mouth-watering chocolate cookies. Still warm. Andre waves you over to a seat before she pours the tea. I've been meaning to spend a little time with you since you got here to know each other a bit, but I haven't had a minute to myself. Now that the kids are back in school, it'll be quieter. It might even be just the two of us until the midterm break. I hope I'll get a place somewhere before then. Considering what Auriel told me, I'd be surprised if you didn't, don't you think? A little bit of perseverance and you'll get there. I'm sure of it. Have you been to the National Opera? It's the first thing you'd done, and they were the first to make you understand that there was no chance. A waiting list as long as your arm, a pitiful chance of even getting an audition. I'm on the waiting list. Oh, that's a shame, but you have to realize that places in such a prestigious corps de ballet are very hard to get. I'd imagine the waiting list must be very long. If I were you, I wouldn't count on that. Wouldn't it be more realistic to aim a little lower, for starters at least? Don't expect everything to just fall into your lap. You know, I've met a lot of performers. You've got to make your mark. I should know. You know, things have changed since the 50s. Oh, don't go thinking it was easier for us. I've known hardship. I might still have been a child, but I lived through the war. And don't be thinking things were easy after the liberation. There was a whole country to rebuild. Did you know we boarded American soldiers during the liberation? It was amazing. They played music every night in the parlor. We'd never heard jazz before. You'll see, there are 2 or 3 photos from that time hanging up in the hallway. Say, Saying that, I've always had a weakness for classical personally, like you, I suppose. She lays her hand on your arm in a gesture of consolation. Anyway, you mustn't let yourself be beaten. I'm sure you'll get there, eventually. And you'll just have to do what it takes. I'm not about to give up. Not well, I haven't exhausted every possibility. Speaking of which... Oh yes, of course, don't let me keep you. You thank Andre and leave. Just the time to grab your bag and jacket, and a few minutes later you're out on the street. You're glad to be out of Oriel's aunt's house. The heavy atmosphere there is starting to get on your nerves. Yes? And that and my finances. I thought I'd be fine for a few months with what I'd saved up and the last of Mommy's money. Didn't realize that day-to-day life in the big city would be so expensive. The price of the room is fairly reasonable, but having to eat out for every meal is costing me a packet. I really have to be careful. It feels like my savings are evaporating before my eyes. I'll have to... What's the matter? I don't know. I felt something. Something familiar and strange. It's intriguing. You want to know more? Follow your intuition. We start walking again faster, weaving through the tangle of little streets so characteristic of this part of the city. The rain, which had only threatened until now, begins to pelt down. You huddle beneath your umbrella, determined to find the source of the strange sensation. Your steps take you with a hook to the left and an about face to the right toward the heart of the city. You find yourself in a narrow cobbled street which slopes gently upward, with an inexplicable sense of deja vu. But this is an area you've never set foot in before. It's so far from the theaters and the main thoroughfares that join the bridges. There's a guy sheltering in a doorway on your right. He's watching you with disturbing insistence. The way he holds himself and his general look left any room for doubt. The fact that he's wearing a leotard makes it unmistakable. He's a dancer. Approach him. I don't know why it's looking like this. Approach him. Hello? Hi, puppet. Can I help you? That's a peculiar way to strike up a conversation. What is this place? You try to peek behind him, but the room is shadowy. You can't make much out. Still, looks like a lot like a theater foyer. He watches you with an amused smile. I'm a dancer, and you're not hiring by any chance? Ah, I suppose you just arrived in town. Continues before you can even open your mouth. It's funny that you found this place by chance. It doesn't happen often. However, I'm sorry, but I need to get back. Insist. Wait, are you sure? Really, I'm just asking for an audition. No, I'm sorry. Our director is very strict about hiring. He hesitates for a moment before he adds, "Now look, we're putting a new show together soon. Come back in about 10 days. You'll get your chance then. However, I really do have to get back." He starts to close the door. Wait! What's this place called? The Outpost. The Outpost? You seem surprised by the mention of this rather odd theater name. Unless, does it remind you of something? Go on, scram, please! I've already said too much. If I get caught, my ass is on the line. This time he closes the door and you hear the click of the lock. You go back up the road, unsure what to think of the exchange. It's weird. It feels like it comes from this place. You look around, searching for the street name, but on one side, the street sign is missing. On the other, rust has eaten away the enamel, making the letters illegible. Well, you'll have to remember the way. The rain hammers down. You need to find somewhere to take shelter if you don't want to be completely soaked. Your little umbrella isn't going to protect you. You dash inside the first cafe that looks open. Before realizing your mistake, the cafe, which is in fact a pizzeria, is not open at all. Metallic noises mingled with Italian expletives come from the kitchen. You're about to turn when a pretty tabby cat rubs itself against your legs with a plaintive meow. Try to pet it. You bend down to pet it. Obviously, I'm gonna pet the cat! The creature rubs its head against your head, purring empathically. Hello! Ah, I see you've met Fungio. We haven't been able to get rid of him since my sister started feeding him. You're here about the ad, right? Take a seat. Enzo, there's someone here about the ad. Noises from the kitchen stop. Chikusa. Someone for the ad. A middle-aged man rigged out in a ponytail and Hawaiian shirt enters the room, clutching a wrench. Did we post the ad? I don't know. Never mind. The wrench goes from one hand to the other, then the man with a ponytail sits down across from you while the other disappears into the kitchen. Sorry about the nose. The machina per espresso is short. I'm Enzo. Where are you here about the ad? What ad? Aha, I was thinking we hadn't posted the ad yet. Hey, look, sorry. We don't open for another hour, actually. Enzo begins to stand up. Wait, are you looking for someone? Considering this worrying state of your finances, you've probably got nothing to lose. Trying your luck. Oh, are you looking for work? It's simple. We need help waiting tables, especially weekends and evenings. Have you ever done that? Yes, I've had several waitressing jobs, but in cafes. Well, this is a restaurant, but it's not so different from a cafe. Aspetta. Enzo has just noticed the cat, which is perched on one of the tables and is giving itself a good wash, getting in the way of the table settings. Aslan! What? Can you put the cat out, please? He's managed to get into the dining room again. Ever since Aslan's sister started tweeting, and we can't get rid of it. Enzo hesitates for a moment before asking loftily, tell me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Cut the crap, Enzo. You'll take her on a trial basis. This isn't a recruitment agency. Yeah, you're right. It's ridiculous. How many hours a week could you do? At the moment, I'm free a lot of the time, but that could change. If it works for you, we'll start you off with 3 evenings plus weekends, and we'll adjust it according to your availability. Okay. Can I see your ID just to check your age? Yes, of course. Rummage through your bag and hand him your ID card. Magdalena. Just Lena. Don't say anymore. Well then, welcome aboard, just Lena. Enzo offers you his hand. You shake it almost instinctively. When can you start? Right away? Great! Service starts in 1 hour. Come on, I'll show you the kitchens. There's lockers for your stuff in the cloakroom. Aslan, have we got any small-size aprons left? It's the end of the shift. You join Aslan, who's smoking a cigarette in the restaurant's backyard. You're exhausted. You only smoke very occasionally, but you figure you could really do with one right now. You sit on the steps facing him. Is it like that every night? Nope, not exactly restful, is it? We're by far the cheapest restaurants in the neighborhood. Enzo insists we keep the prices affordable. So we've a full house every night. Victims of our own success, he says. But I hope that won't put you off, huh? We really need the help, as you can tell. Aslan chuckles. I like a challenge. Well, just as well tell me, what do you do when you're not juggling 6 orders and 3 pieces at a time? I'm a dancer? Ah, that's why you moved here. Yes. Not easy to make your mark in the art communities. No, but I'm not going to give up. It's tough, but I'm not going to give up. Or I'm not giving up. A sigh escapes you before you can get a grip on yourself. Anyway, thanks for the job opportunity. My savings have just been melting away. Oh, it's not me you need to thank. It's Enzo. He's the boss. Tell me, have you heard about the neighborhood association? A neighborhood association? Yes, it's called St. Louis Circle. We rent a place on, well, St. Louis Street. St. Louis? It might be St. Louis. There's quite a few activities, especially the dance club. That's interesting. Oh? Well, we're having a neighborhood dinner for the association's new season, 2 weeks Saturday. In any case, Enzo's closing the pizzeria to be there. And Samira's requisitioned the kitchen to make samosas. Samira? That's my sister's name, the former waitress. And trust me, you really don't want to miss out on Samira's samosas. In that case, I guess I don't have a choice. I'm forced to accept the invitation. The door into the yard opens and Enzo sticks his head out. Lena? Yes? Printed your work contract. You want to take a look and get it signed? I'll be right there. Aslan gives you a smile as you follow Enzo into the office. Act 1. Etage. And Miss Sadier. The corridor light comes on and the door to Andre's apartment flies open. It's after midnight, you're just back from work at the pizzeria, and after a week at this pace, you only dream of one thing, going to bed. Could I speak with you for a minute, please? Can it wait till tomorrow? The old lady looks outraged before she says, in a bewildered whisper, I'm worried about you. Okay, but be quick. It's late. You haven't got the heart to send her packing, but you're not going to put up with this kind of intrusiveness either. Seeing you as you seem more interested in doing... Let me try that again. Seeing as you seem more interested in doing I don't know what with the I don't know who, I picked up the phone and made a few calls. I've got a list for you of companies to contact. I'm fairly sure I've already contacted them all. Actually, I've got a promising audition coming up in a few days. I'm delighted to hear it, but would it hurt to take a look at my list? Unless you think you should bite the hand that feeds you. She gives her half-hearted thank... You give her a half-hearted thank you and take the list she's holding out, even if it's just so she'll leave you in peace. It's late, and you're keeping me up, if you'll excuse me. She leaves you standing with your list and your guilt. You climb the stairs, go into your room, and flop down on the bed. Aren't you going to look at the list? I just need a minute. You let out a long sigh before turning your attention to the list. The Outpost. Isn't that the name of the place you stumbled on the other day? Yes, I've made a note to go back there, and I don't know that name. Does it mean something to you? There are Odeons in every city in the country, but the Outpost, it's different. You think it might be a lead to your mom? That would be strange, wouldn't it? I was adopted by my grandmother a few days after I was born. There's no chance I could remember anything about her. Your grandmother might have mentioned her in passing. Maybe, I don't know. It's a long time ago now. Whatever it is, it's definitely worth a shot going to knock on that door. Yes, Andre's written down the date of the auditions. That fits with the info I got. When will you go? She's written that the first session is on Thursday afternoon. I'll call tomorrow to confirm. Thursday, after losing your way 3 times in a tangle of narrow streets, here you are looking at the Outpost. Unlike your last visit, the place seems far more vibrant, almost welcoming. There's a buzz inside, as if the place had just opened up after the summer break. You push the door, and you find yourself transported to an unexpected world. It is indeed an old theater, but it emanates an aura of sanctity that you can feel almost physically. It's far removed from the modern buildings you're used to, and even the National Opera, with its gilding and rococo marbles, didn't have this effect on you. You're so absorbed in contemplating the Art Deco woodwork and furnishings that you don't notice the 2 young men who ask you if you'd mind getting out of the way. You apologize and take a couple steps back. Your attention is drawn to the clothes rack. They're moving from one wing of the theater to the other, groaning under the weight of the colorful, glittering stage costumes. On your right, a group of young women are disappearing into the corridor to the backstage. They must be the auditionees. On the other side, behind the box office, a middle-aged woman is checking a list. She doesn't look like your typical ticket office clerk with her stern aspect and the skirt suit that screams high-level job, but lacking anyone more amenable to talk to, you approach her anyway. Hello? Just a moment. She doesn't seem in any rush to answer you. 2 minutes later, she's still absorbed in her list. Wait. You decide to try and stay in the woman's good graces. After all, you're the one who needs help. After a long wait, she finally raises her eyes. What can I do for you? Well, I'm a dancer. I'm here for... You're late. We're about to start. Have you got your resume? Like, it's at least half an hour before the time Andre had written down. You rummage through your bag and place the required document on the counter confidently. There's no reason to panic. A hand sneaks in from your right and takes the paper. You turn and find another woman with a dancer's physique, but middle age has crept in close to you. Her ice blue eyes carefully study your feeble list of professional experiences before they come to rest on you. She gives off an aura of authority. She seems to think deeply for a few moments before tersely revealing her decision. Follow me. Then she adds to the woman behind the counter. Lydia, could you send Arnaud to the big rehearsal room, please? In other words, Lydia picks up the intercom. The other woman is already being swallowed up into the depths of the theater. You trot behind her, trying to keep up, and you find yourself in a labyrinthine jumble of corridors and staircases that you cross before emerging into a large room bathed in light. A man in a tweed suit with a mustache and small round spectacles leans back against a half-open window smoking a cigarette. Seeing you enter, he nonchalantly tosses the butt outside before he seats himself at an old baby grand piano. Grasping what you're expected to do, you start getting ready to dance. She nudges your shoes disdainfully with her toe. You won't need those. Say nothing. You're not exactly delighted to dance barefoot, but maybe it's part of the test? Unsure, you decide not to mention it. Just as you're finished getting ready, a young man enters and strides across the room. You realize that it's the dancer you met the other day, who in all likelihood would be Arnaud. Deborah. Arnaud, show her that duo. Arnaud quickly explains the choreography to you. You nod your head, trying to memorize the different moves you're going to do together. Its confidence in the way he takes the time to let you digest the information, checking that you understand each step, is very reassuring. Deborah comes over several times to pick you up on your position or timing. You correct yourself as well as you can. You know you're putting yourself on the line for a place in this company, the only one that's given you a chance up till now. And Deborah signals the pianist, and you begin. Arnaud is watchful, attuned. He knows the routine perfectly and does everything he can to make things easier for you, which isn't a simple task. Everything is unusual between the strange rhythm of the music coming from the piano, a series of movements which questions every academic certainty that had been etched into your body year after year. You and you waver over a fragile line between sophistication and animality. In his arms you fly and drop with the lightness of a swallow, with the power of a hawk. Deborah interrupts you, asking you to reposition yourself. You don't understand what's wrong. Her instructions are so strange and counterintuitive. It's hard to understand exactly what she expects of you, but you have no choice but to trust her. You put yourself back in position and you begin. And suddenly, time twists into creeping contractions. Nothing exists but the knot and the root, chemical wedding between you and the night. Then you're ripped from the joining of the worlds when Deborah claps her hands twice. The music stops immediately. Stop! That's enough. We'll stop there. Thank you for trying After the Wane. For more information, visit us at novabox.com. Well, I guess that is the demo for it so far. Definitely excited to see some more of this. And, well, you can go wishlist it on Steam now. So go do that. Links down in the description. And, yeah, thank you Mooncat Games for this opportunity to check out the demo. And thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe. Maybe click the bell for notifications. Also, be sure to check out the description below. Various links, social media, Discord, come hang out. Get notifications there too. And until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!